Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. I know it's been a while since we last met, where we were kind of stuck into our professional and personal lives in the last few months. No worries, though. Today we finally found some time to meet again. We've met actually in person, Stoyan and I. We've met again. We met at Experts Live India in Hyderabad. Was it how long was it? 15 days ago,
A
two, three
couple of
weeks
weeks
ago.
ago, exactly.
Yeah. We decided to, make the new episodes because it's been far too long. We haven't done any. It's just the two of us together. Saurabh will be joining us from the next, hopefully from the next episode. We will also have some interesting guests in the space of not only AI, but in the space of Microsoft technologies in general. So we're looking forward to more episodes with them. Stoyan, so today's topic, we I have convinced Stoyan to play the fool, so to say, in the field of Gen AI. We've been again, it's AI has been everywhere, and everyone has been using it in some capacity. I don't know if you're the one using it at your professional work yet, but definitely you're using it in your personal lives with ChatGPT, Gemini, God knows what, Perplexity. There's so many tools all over the place now. So I'm sure you have a preference. But so we decided to just keep like a basic introductory session about Gen AI and what it does, how it works, what impact it is going to have in the life of a common person, a techie, a developer, an admin, or whatever, right? So again, like I said, I've convinced Toyan to be the scapegoat in this case, and he is going to ask me some genuine questions. Though I don't think they are the questions that are Gen AI made. Um, Honestly, that is one of the things that we just talked about. Is let's have genuine questions and human answers. So that's what we are going to do today. I'll hand it over to Stoyan. So let's start this. I'm calling this an interview, but it's not really an interview, but just a facade of an interview, and just we'll talk through some of the questions.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Stoyan, again. Like you all see, I'm wearing my Experts Live India t-shirt, which is
Me
actually
too.
exactly the same as Sam's, exactly. It's a very dear memory from the conference in Hyderabad. And thank you, Sam, for giving me the opportunity to be the interviewer in this podcast episode. So, like Sam mentioned, what I've prepared are a couple of questions related to an AI, which are more of a basic questions, and those are questions which everybody or everyone who is new to AI would ask to a specialist. So let's start with the first one, which is obviously very essential, very basic. It's what is artificial intelligence, AI, and how would you explain it to someone who has no technical background?
Okay, cool. So every time I talk about, or personally in my personal life, whenever I'm learning about something new, the first thing I go by is the name of anything, the name of the term, the name of the concept, the name of the technology, whatever. In this case, again, it's fairly natural what the term means. It's artificial intelligence. It's an intelligence created artificially by us humans. So what does that mean? Creating intelligence artificially. So it is in the past that we've had systems who have been able to perform some tasks based on instructions. So we have the ways to talk to the machines using programming languages, C++, starting all the way from C++ and then Java and then Python and whatever, what have you, all the fancy ones nowadays. Um, but it was still very instruction based. So we tell the computer what to do. Instead of computer learning our language, we learn the computer's language, and then we give it the instructions as to what tasks to perform. So that was some sort of already some intelligence based on the commands that I give you, making the computer smart, so to say, so that it performs the tasks at hand. So that is something at obviously very high level, top level, an answer where you can go way too deep into what AI is and what AGI is and all the other different kinds of AIs based on what it can do. But that's just my. How would you explain it to a 5-year-old answer to
so,
what AI is?
So, Sam, what you are telling me currently is that AI is basically teaching machines to think or solve different problems using data and using
Yeah,
different rules, more or less.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
very interesting. Considering this answer, what do you think? What are some everyday examples of AI that people might not even realize they are using or seeing throughout their daily life?
Yeah, great question. Actually, when I go to the GenAI conferences nowadays, because that's what everyone is going to. Nobody's going to any other conferences nowadays. But that is, if I'm talking about AI or GenAI in particular, I always include a slide that says that GenAI is not the only AI. And that seems to be the common misconception nowadays. It's like, oh, AI is here, AI is here. No, AI has been here for a while. It's been here for years. You just haven't realized it, or you're just realizing it more because it's more interfering with your daily life nowadays in the form of chatbots and whatnot. But it is not the only form of AI. I just actually just talked about this yesterday at one of the meetups that I went to. So these systems like text prediction or systems like face recognition, voice recognition, automobiles are there, autonomous automobiles are there. Games are the prime example of AI. So whenever you're handling a character, you're interacting with the environment in a game. That's what is also bound by the rules of AI. So it's the common misconception that I want to break personally at my level is that Gen AI is not the only AI. You have actually been using every day. You use it, even if you are not logging into ChatGPT. You are most definitely unlocking your phone using your face recognition or your fingerprints. That's what you're doing. You're using AI.
Right.
You've been doing that
So
for a while.
that would mean, Sam, that actually all the personal assistants that are out there and are used for many years now, like Siri or the Google
Siri,
AI
yeah,
assistant, and
Alexa.
also Alexa, those are also actually AI,
Yeah,
or are pretty nice examples of AI which we use on a daily basis.
absolutely, absolutely. So Google Assistant, Alexa, Siri, like you said, there have been others also. That you can just talk to your phone. You were able to talk to your phone before the rise of ChatGPT. Let's say you've always given voice commands to Netflix. If you're shopping on Amazon, then you get similar product recommendations. That is also AI.
Exactly.
It may
Exactly.
not be Gen AI, but that's also AI.
A very important question I saw many times being asked regarding AI is actually how does AI learn new skills or new knowledge? Is it like teaching a
Mhm.
human or is it something totally different?
That's an interesting question. So I would say it's kind of like teaching a human. Let's say, how do we teach humans? Let me flip that question on you. How do we teach humans?
So basically, in order for me to learn something new, I need to have some data. I need to study and to
Mhm.
read or like a text or something to research in order to
Yeah,
learn a new thing, right? So that's
yeah,
what
absolutely.
you're me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So humans learn by reading text or watching videos or listening to somebody, talking to other people, talking to teachers, professors, or their seniors, whatever the setting is. Um, So a machine won't read in the sense that humans read. A machine won't listen. It won't watch the videos. But at the end of the day, it is trained on the data, right? So a video is what? It's a data file. For the computer, it's a data file. Whatever it is showing, that's of no concern to the computer, but it's a data file. So if you feed that data file to the computer, it has the ability to analyze what data is being fed to it and just learn from it. So the way that in the space of Gen AI, how that works is you provide many samples to Gen AI or to the LLM, which is, I don't know if you have a question in this episode about LLMs, but a large language model that powers the whole Gen AI magic. So what you do is you feed it via the algorithms of machine learning. So there are different kinds of machine learning. Again, machine learning is literally a machine learning something. So you're repetitively giving it some examples. If say you want your machine to detect what a computer looks like. So what you will do is you will feed it many descriptions of what a computer looks like, many images of what a computer looks like, and eventually using those examples as base, it is going to next try to identify, okay, I've seen 1,000 different machines or 1,000 different computers in my training data from different angles with different colors, different sizes, different forms in different settings. So I think I'm fairly confident I will identify what a machine or what a computer looks like. So that is how the machine works. It's just basically repeatedly telling it, uh, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. Just go off of that and try to predict what the next thing would be.
Right. So that's the principle. The more data you feed the AI, the better the training of it is. Does this really apply
Mhm.
in this case?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, that would depend on what your use case is, obviously. I just said about LLMs, but there are
right.
also SLMs now, small learning models, language models. So they are more niche for a particular use case. So in that case, you wouldn't need, if you want to ask a doctor, or let's say you're not feeling well, what do? You go to a doctor. So you're going to a person who is specialized into that field. You're not going just shouting on the street, I have this disease and I'm not feeling well. Can somebody help? No, you are going out to a specialist and then you're consulting them. That's how it is. So in general, yes. Even in the specific field, the more data you feed the system, the better it will understand. It's like, to give you a similar example, it would be like the resolution of screen. So the higher the resolution, the more the pixels on the screen, the smoother you see. Or like
Right.
FPS, higher the FPS, the smoother the picture, kind of that.
Sam, are you implying that actually, if you have so many different SLMs and they are really trained on a specific set of data in order to be effective, like that was actually a nice example. So if you, let's suppose we have an AI model which is focused on healthcare and solving problems, like identifying symptoms and giving you optimized suggestions regarding what medicine to take or what to do. So does this mean that this model is trained only using specific data like medical data?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if let's say we are building like a diagnosis SLM, the SLM that will only perform diagnosis. So you will only feed it the, let's say, X-ray data, or you will feed it the diagnosis, or whatever tests are available out there and whatever outputs that they produce. You will feed a lot of samples. You will say, okay, this sample, if this value in the sample crosses this threshold, that means something is wrong. And you feed it multiple times, and then eventually the system will try to understand. It will understand the pattern. Okay, there was actually a good example. I don't know if you saw it in the news. Um, I don't remember which. I don't remember which LLM.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a news saying that the AI predicted breast cancer in somebody 5 years before it happened. I think almost five
Well,
years before, just
well,
with a
that's
speck
really
of, just with
astonishing.
a, it's amazing. If you just, they just showed you a small an X-ray, and then you just see like a small white spot in that X-ray. I don't know if it was, probably not an
Mm-hmm.
X-ray. I think it was a sonography or something. Um, so you just see a white small patch. Doctors were not able to identify it as potential tumor growing in the future, but AI flagged it, saying like, hey, this is a possible cancer, and maybe after a few years after it was actually diagnosed. So
Right.
it's getting borderline magic, and it's very, very, very useful now.
From what you are telling me, Sam, it seems that AI systems are very smart. Is this really the case, or do they just follow some rules? Are they really smart?
Yeah. So smart, I would say, is a loose term. Are they smart? Yeah. Or with like is it smarter than you? Is ChatGPT smarter than you? Smarter than me? Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that is only because it's been fed on a lot of data that a human in their lifetime otherwise will never see. To an expert in any field, it's just so much that you can learn in a field that you will never finish learning, so to say, right?
Right.
Um, so it is
So
smart. Absolutely, it is smart.
if I may summarize it, it is smart, but they also follow rules in order to be smart.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have to make it follow rules, otherwise Skynet will rise up and then we'll all die. So
I
there are
like
some
the
how many
comparison.
what? Yes, what was I going to say? The robots in the space of robotics. Whenever you make a robot, you make it follow some three. Is it three rules of something something? The three golden rules of some, named after some person. It's not coming up.
Right. I
Yeah.
know what
So
you mean.
yeah, so you have to make a system follow some rules. Otherwise, it will. I would just actually again, responsible AI is a huge discussion, and as part of that responsible AI, you must define the parameters that the LLM or the AI has to abide. Otherwise, it will just be chaos. It will just give you answers that are not, that are offensive, racial, or abusive, sexual, violent in nature, and that's not what we want.
Right. Being so, what we discussed so far, it looks to me that actually AI or everything which is based currently on AI models is very, let's say, smart and also very helpful. But should actually people be worried about this? Should people be worried about AI taking their jobs? Or is it more the other way around where AI is actually supporting people to do their jobs better?
Better,
What do you
yeah.
think?
So it goes both ways, really. Should I be worried about AI taking my job? Absolutely. Um, but that doesn't mean that I should panic. Uh, what I would say is just take it constructively. If I am a person whose job can easily be replaced, then probably I should get out of that zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you are like a mediocre, average developer or an average person doing just mindless activities that can be, so this again, same in discussions were going around when automation came around, right? So people are not weaving garments by hands anymore, not at the commercial level. There are machines, but there are still people operating those machines. So let's think of this way. Um,
Yes.
so it's not gonna take your jobs. It's just going to change the nature of the jobs. And I think before you're in like actual danger zones of getting replaced, you should probably, try to augment or complement your work with AI. How do you, if you're a developer? There was a good quote that I read somewhere. Is like AI or coding assistance in this context. AI turns a bad developer into an average developer, and a good developer into an excellent developer. So just don't be a bad developer, and then you won't be worried about getting replaced. That's all.
I like the comparison you've made. I'm also using AI myself for coding tasks and actually not to do
Mhm.
this instead of me, but to support me while I'm doing the coding. And in my
Absolutely.
personal opinion, this helps me in a great way to provide better code, optimized code, and really do it faster and in a more an effective way. But there is a very nice side to AI, which we discussed, like helping professionals do their job. What about if we go into the more personal and we talk about feelings and thoughts? Can actually AI think on itself? Can it have feelings? Because sometimes when I talk to let's say to one of the it doesn't matter which one is it sometimes it seems to me like it's so real that I already assume it might have like thoughts or feelings which I might
Yeah.
not be aware of. So what do you think about it?
Yeah. Can it think by itself? No,
Yes.
hopefully not. I don't think so, and I hope not, because the whole point, I think, is the whole distinction between humans and machines is the machines don't have feelings, and the moment we start giving feelings to a machine, we won't need a human at all. With all its pros and cons, feelings is what makes a human. So there are, feelings go the both ways. They make you a human, but they also make you a human. That's why you make judgment errors. A machine is not supposed to have feelings. Feelings will have biases. A machine is not supposed to have biases, or advices or opinions. We just tell the machine what to do, and machine does it. That's how it
Right.
should be, ideally. But I like the question you asked. Is like sometimes you do feel like the chatbot is actually thinking something.
Right,
Um,
it mimics human conversation so well, and actually, in
yeah,
occasions, also it mimics human emotions that well that sometimes I cannot tell where the difference is, and then
yeah,
I might think that it actually experiences those feelings or thinks of a certain way. But I'm really happy to hear that because it would be really scary if we have like self-aware AI, which might be, let's say, getting out of control, or where we cannot influence its development anymore.
Yeah.
This being said, what do you think? Why has AI suddenly become, and before moving forward, this is actually our last question for today. Um,
Hmm.
we will try, of course, with Sam to prepare next edition of the podcast episode where we will go deep into some more, let's say, technical related
Technical
questions,
stuff. Hmm.
technical stuff also related to AI. But Sameer, tell me please, why has AI suddenly become such a big deal? And this actually in the last 2 or 3 years,
Yes. Yeah.
what is the big thing about AI in your
Yeah.
opinion?
Well, it's pretty evident what has changed in the 2 3 years, and that is that ChatGPT has now become. Or 3 years ago, was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago? ChatGPT 3 came out, 3.5, and it just kind of blew up because it got so much attention simply for the fact that it took technology out of the nerds' computers and put it into the hands of normal people, let's say. So everyone can use ChatGPT, everyone can interact with the machines now using NLP, natural language processing. So you don't have to learn the computer's language anymore. Computer now has started to understand yours. So that has just opened doors for many people, like even like you and me, I would say, in the field of technical fields where we are not strictly coders or developers, but we do have some technical background. We know what we want from the machine, but not necessarily convert that into a program that the computer understands. But now we can. So we can just tell a chat, I keep saying ChatGPT, by the way, but that's not the only thing that I'm referring to when I say ChatGPT. It's like a blanket term at this point, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT plus all the other chatbots. So I think that's the only thing that has changed is with the explosion of GenAI technology. It has become much more accessible, much more simple for anyone to use, and it just looks like magic, man. Just
Yes,
it
yes,
feels
it
feels like
does.
magic for sure.
Yes, it does.
To a person who has no familiarity with technology or whatever is underlying, the what powers the Gen AI or any AI, it has landed into the hands of everyone, and that just feels amazing. That's the only reason I think that has blown up. Because, like we previously said, AI has been around. Alexa and Siri were the most magical things that we had until Gen AI
Yes,
came out.
yes, that's
Um,
correct.
but now with Gen AI, I think it's just so much simpler, so much easier, so much natural, and feels so human for anyone to talk to. So that's just what I think about it.
Yes, indeed. So, Sam, thank you for the thorough answers. I enjoyed it very much. And for anyone listening, please stay tuned for the next episode, because in the next episode, we will be discussing AI-related questions, but in a more, let's say, intermediate level, where we will
Yeah.
go deep into certain topics like we could talk about privacy, security, and the way AI is trained, and so on and so on, all the interesting stuff. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And that's from all from me today. Sam, thank you very much for
No
having
problem.
me on the episode and giving me the opportunity to ask you all the interesting questions.
Oh, we will have more opportunities, like Stoyan, you said. This is just the introduction, just sliding into the AI DMs, so to say. We are going to have a lot more in-depth technical discussions. So I think after first couple of generic AI episodes, we will probably shift more towards OpenAI and Azure OpenAI, because that is what we as professionals specialize in. But until then, everyone basically can tune in, listen to what AI is coming from, where it is going towards, and how, as a person, how we can just live together with the explosion of Gen AI. So, yes, we will have again more interesting people joining us from the next episode. So, please stay tuned, and until then, cheers. Have a nice day. Enjoy your personal lives, professional lives, and don't get fired by AI. That's what I would say.
Thank you,
Cool.
everybody.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye.